What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Bartlett Arborist Supply. This is take 2 on the PETZL Spin L2 and the twin release. Shout out to PETZL for hooking us up with these pulleys. Thank you very much. And so we're going to talk about creating a 4-to-1 or a set of 4s using this system. And the way you combine it, or the way you orient it on the rope itself, you could end up with a 5-to-1, and we're going to show you a quick way of converting it to a 6-to-1. Now, in a previous video that we did do, I misspoke. My head was thinking 4-to-1, 5-to-1, and I forgot. Well, I didn't forget. I misspoke and said 5-to-1 where it should have been a 6-to-1. Now, thanks for calling me out or letting me know about that. So we scrapped the other video. We came back. And we're redoing this video to provide you the correct, proper information on how it is. So starting right now, Spin L2, right? Double shift pulley, bottom becket, attachment, swiveling attachment at the top. Now the swiveling attachment at the top can accommodate up to 2 carabiners at once and can be used with cordage. So sling, rope, however you choose to configure your system. However, note, please be aware that when you're using connectors such as this carabiner at the top, over time it can wear a groove into it, or a burr might appear on the attachment hole. Something that's going to potentially damage rope and sling, right? So if that does happen and you say one day, okay, let me switch around, I don't want to use carabiners, I'm going to go to straight cordage, be aware that a burr, a sharp edge may have formed. Inspect your system before doing that kind of attachment. So yeah, now you know that one. However, again, swiveling attachment hole. The Spin L2 has 2 pulleys, 2 sheaves, right? Sheaves. And the plates open with double action, triple action, however you want to look at it. First action being downward. Second action on the red tab, you lift up and then you slide the gate or the side cheek open, okay? Same thing on the back. Down, up, slide open. This can accommodate 7 to 13 mil, okay? I got it right. But 7 to 13 mil rope. Make sure that when you go to put the system in there, you hear that lock and the click, and that you do not see any red, because something's not right there, okay? But if you see red, red is dead. Just keep that phrase in there. Always double check your systems. Boom. Okay, so that's the Spin L2. Now this right here, the twin release. Oh yeah, this thing is beautiful. C'est magnifique. Okay, now it is a double shift pulley. However, it is unique because it has a progress capture feature and a release feature to lower the whole system down, or whatever you're doing, whether you're lifting or you're pulling something over. You know, most of the time this system would be used in, let's say, confined rescue, rope access, things of that nature. However, being the crafty arborists that we are, we look at it and we go, oh, that's cool, maybe I can use it over here. And sure enough, we adapt a lot of things into the arboricultural world and make it work for us to make our lives easier. That's just what we do, you know, take from there and we get creative. However, going back to this awesome device, same thing as the Spin L2. You have the bottom becket, the attachment hole, same accommodations, sorry about that, sling, rope, carabiner for connectors, right? Then the unique things about this one, the back where all the lettering, all the markings are, the ratings, is a free spin sheave, okay? The front side, however, if I open this up, right, same, you can see the auto block or the progress capture cam here. But right here is the main thing. So this is a ratcheted sheave, which means, right, you can hear that. So it spins one way. However, it does not free spin the opposite way. And they do that to add friction to your system. So if you're working with a moderate load or somewhat-ish heavy load, right, it's to provide you with some extra friction. Locks the same way, just as this, gate function. Now bringing us to the progress capture, you can use the system, I shouldn't have closed that. use the system by leaving the cam in the fully open position if you didn't want to use it. And then if you wanted to engage that progress capture, just simply hit the button, boom, right into place. The release lever, there is a unique way of lowering a load. And we're actually going to show you that on rope with a load attached to the end of it. So we don't get too specific with it, or we don't have to get too crazy with it here as we're going to demonstrate. However, we do have to mention that when you are releasing a load, the cam is not intended to, the cam isn't intended to release the load solely on its own, or not even on its own, I should say, right? You're still supposed to handle, and then the rope goes around this external. I call it a bollard, right? That's what I like to call it as. But it goes around and wraps around this external here, lever down, and you grab the rope with your hand. That provides you the necessary friction to release or lower, descend, person, device, tree, log, whatever you're moving, whatever you're doing, okay? But that is Spin L2 and twin release made by PETZL. We are going to show you how to feed the rope through the system. Let's do it.
It's showtime.
Okay, so rope installation on your set of 4s here. Well, when we have these two combined, it's a set of 4s, 4-to-1, 5-to-1, yada, 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 okay? So to connect this, I have attached my rope directly to the bottom becket of the twin release. I do have it connected via figure 8 retrace, figure 8 follow through, however you want to call it. Now, I'll try and get this as close as I can to the bottom becket so this isn't down so far away, the knot, right? I try and keep it as close as possible. You can attach it however you'd like to. This is the way that I've chose to do it. However, to install it, the rope is dangling down. I'm going to do it while suspended. You can, which I've seen multiple people do it when they lay the system on the ground. That also works, but for me, I like doing it this way. I saw it done this way and I was like, oh, that's a little bit simpler for me. So we're going to start off with the Spin L2. All the plates are open. Same thing on a twin release. The side cheeks, the side plates, they're all open, ready for rope insertion. So we're going to take the rope, okay? And I'm going to start off feeding the rope through the side of the pulley, or the side of the Spin L2 that has all the labels. So the ratings and all that good stuff. Okay, so I'm going to go rope, right? We're going to go right through it. It's going to go here. Close it, make sure that nothing's red. We're going to go back up to the same side on the twin release where all the labels are. We're going to go through the back there, install, lock the plate. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to follow everything up through. Rope goes through the front side where the logo of PETZL is at, and then it's going to go up and through the twin release, finishing the system. However, there's something you have to know here. Because of the way that the twin release is designed, where it free spins one way and it stops the other way on that ratcheting sheave, there's also a little picture of the little hand grabbing the rope and pulling. And if you follow that, it has a load, or the image of a weight depicting or translating into being the load, whatever you're pulling, right? So the rope must exit towards where the hand image is or towards where the handle is, however you want to look at it, but that's the way the rope must exit the system, okay? So rope goes through that way and exits this way. It must go out that way. Lock, and like I said, the system, there's friction going down right now because that front sheave is not free spinning. It'll only free spin as I pull, and you can hear it too. Listen to that noise. Satisfying, okay? And this is without the progress capture system. I can pull back down, lift up. Then if I wanted to activate the progress capture cam, just hit the button, locks into place. Now I can't pull down. Okay, I can still pull up, but no pulling down. Okay, so that's super simple. It's easy to install the rope. Just remember that rope must exit that way. Now we are going to set up a situation where we're lifting or we're pulling something over, so you can actually kind of see the device in action, if you would. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so the quick on-rope demonstration on how to configure a system if you're gonna pull something over. If you look at the base here, I have a sling, and I have my 5-to-1 or my 4-to-1s, or my set of 4s, I should say, the PETZL twin release and the L2 at the base, and I do have a porta wrap there for a couple giggles there, right? Now, I'm gonna use a PETZL rescue sender as my midline rope grab. Very easy to install. 2 tabs on each side, 1, 2, lift both of them up, and the camming device here comes out of the slot. Like I said, it's super easy to install. If we were to come over to the rope, grab this, make sure that the rope inserts nice and easy. The cam system locks back into place. There are red indicators on the tabs themselves. So if you can see the red, no good. Red, no red on both sides, means we're cooking, okay? So, next thing up, the way that I'm gonna show it, I should mention this is a piggyback system. So I have my main line attached to whatever it is. In this instance, it's a log on the ground that we're trying to hoist up. For most instances, it'd be felling, right? This would be your tag line, and our set of 4s are going to piggyback onto it. Okay, so a straight 1-to-1 pull, I wouldn't be able to pick it up. So I would have to apply mechanical advantage to it. So hooked up, slide it up as much as I can, leave it be. Now, that's the beginning stages of it. Whoop, there it is. Now the way that it's set up right now, it's set as a 4-to-1. Okay, so you have 4 legs of rope pulling your load. Okay, you don't see nothing at the base. That's our anchor, right? Now I can begin pulling, tightening up the system, and that makes everything so much easier. Try and stay in an inline pull. Don't deviate too far out when you're pulling on a system like this, because you don't really gain the way that you're supposed to. But right now this is just a 4-to-1, okay? I'm pulling, but the downside to pulling something like this, I'm pulling and I'm not looking at what's going on, okay? That's the big downside to it. So now if I release this, it doesn't spin, that ratcheted sheave is not spinning, adding that friction, making it easier to descend that load. And the progress capture cam is not activated. Just want to note that. If we were to activate the progress capture cam, like we talked about, hitting that button, pulling again, and pulling once more. Maybe another pull. Heave! So now if I let go, I haven't lost any of my progress here. Load is still up in the air or beginning to go up. But now I added the porta wrap because, you know, if we are doing a piggyback system and you don't want to release everything in the event that we maxed out or we bottomed out our pulleys, okay, this is where the porta wrap would come into play. Yeah, it's a lot going on. I know, right? Not every situation calls for something like this, but in the event that it does, right, that's what it's for. So you go through your porta wrap, try and catch as much as you can. Take your wraps around the barrel here of the porta wrap. I usually tend to do more than necessary, and then I just lock off with my half hitches. But now I would be able to release and re-extend my system out, okay? So, but now if this was a situation where I needed to lift, shift over, and then just release it back in, or release everything, remember that cam isn't intended to just release, it's not intended to release the whole system, right? The way that we're supposed to do this was, there's that external brake, the bollard thingamajig that I like to call it. So this wraps around. So let me try not to do that without my hand going in there. Rope wraps around and catches like this. All right, that's part one. Part two, the lever, we're gonna break loose, but the thing with the lever, whatever hand is on the rope also controls the lever, okay? So just like that, and I can slowly release. In this instance, I don't have enough weight on the back end over here, so I'm just gonna slowly back feed it in, just like that. And that adds even more friction to what we're trying to release at the other end. Super sweet, super smooth, solid, okay? And then that's still going down, that's still going down. Okay. And we're at the ground. I'm gonna deactivate the cam and finish releasing everything, okay? Now, that's your 4-to-1 setup, okay? It will come into play how you configure the system to get a 5-to-1, which we'll show right now. Cool thing about the rescue center here, I can collapse the cam just like a rope grab there, slide it back down. Super easy. I'm gonna disconnect. I'll leave my rope grab there. And what I am gonna do, excuse me, I'm going to switch ends. Okay. So now the 4 is over there, the L2. And if I bring this twin release this way and hook to the rescue center, there's some things you must be aware of, okay? So I have this here. I'm gonna make sure there's no twist in my system, or minimize the twist as much as possible. We'll call that good. And we'll call that good. Nice thing about the pulleys, the swivels. I'm not gonna activate my cam for progress capture. Now, having done this, I've now made my set of 4s into a 5-to-1. I have 5 legs of rope pulling the load, okay? You do lose your progress capture system, right? Because I don't have it here anymore. However, if you're working with somebody else, you might just be able to have somebody else tag the porta wrap in there when you bottom out, or if you bottom out, okay? So it does matter on how you set how you set this system up on the rope itself, okay? That would be your 5-to-1 when you have 5 legs of rope pulling that load. And the way we previously had it was a 4-to-1. I did mention, or I don't even remember if I mentioned it, but 6-to-1, okay? Really get the juice, give it the business, okay? We're gonna do that next. We're going to release a little bit, bring that back down. Oh, I love that, so easy and smooth. Set that down for a minute. Good, good, good. We're gonna reassemble again. I'm gonna take this off, reconnect the twin release to our anchor point. We're gonna get rid of that twist. Come back over this way. And we're gonna grab our rescue sender. All right, so we have our 4-to-1 setup, 4 legs of rope pulling the load. 5 legs of rope are that way at the anchor point, just anchored away. Doesn't count as a mechanical advantage there. Now to make it a 6-to-1, okay? We're gonna grab the rope, exiting the twin release, and at the bottom becket of the spin L2, you can use another carabiner. I prefer carabiners with pulleys. I typically don't like just putting a rope over a carabiner and doing that kind of mechanical advantage unless I am in a pinch. But most of the times I have at least one type of carabiner with a pulley built into the system. So in this instance, I'm going to use a DMM revolver. However, you can also use a roll clip Z and it'll fit just as good. if not better maybe, I don't know, you tell me. So I'm gonna hook up to the bottom becket. So now I have 2, 4, 6 legs of rope pulling the load, where now I can begin pulling, just standing here and pulling. I have that much more to go through there. However, you have to remember there's a lot of rope in the system, so there will be efficiency loss if your pulleys are dirty, used, if they're not spinning the way they're supposed to. These are all things you have to take into account when you're creating a mechanical advantage system. So maybe a 6-to-1 actually turns into like a 5-to-1 ratio because of that other stuff you haven't accounted for. So that efficiency loss is a real thing. So now I can continue to pull, and I'm hoisting the log, and I'm hoisting, right? So that's a 6-to-1 setup, okay? Super easy to set up. It definitely comes in handy when you're trying to pull something over and it's just you, or if it's just you and somebody else and you don't have machinery. Because I know a lot of days now with mini skids, cranes, you have equipment. But in those events that we don't have equipment, knowing how to build something like this definitely is a lifesaver. But thanks again to PETZL. Thanks for checking this video out. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe. Visit us at bartlettman.com, or you can Google us, Bartlett Arborist Supply. Thanks for watching. Be safe, y'all.